Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Hurt. We're glad you're with us. In just a moment, we are going to bring out our special guest, Jeff Brown. He is one of the most respected investors in the world. He's been an executive at high-tech companies like Qualcomm and NXP Semiconductors. He's made over 300 private investments, including dozens in tech startups. And in 4 of the last 6 years, Jeff has accurately predicted the #1 tech stock on the S&P 500. Today, boys, he got a bombshell to share with us, because soon our entire technological world may rely on just one company to function. Jeff Brown says this company's technology will actually help end the global chip shortage. And by 2025, he says 100% of the world's advanced microchips could be made by this company and its incredible new $180 million machine. In fact, Jeff thinks this could be the #1 microchip stock of 2022. And he believes it will be the most important microchip stock of the decade. And yet, most Americans don't know its name. Evercore ISI analyst CJ Muse said it is, and this is a quote, "the most important company you've never heard of," end quote. Quartz said it's difficult to think of another company anywhere that is simultaneously this important and yet this unknown to the public at large. Well, today we are going to change all of that. Jeff Brown says this is the #1 microchip stock of 2022. And in just a few moments, he's going to publicly name this company right here with us on the air for free. We really are very fortunate to have Jeff with us tonight. He has built up a very loyal following. There are over 1 million people who read his work every single day. And it's because he's one of the few experts that's consistently ahead of the tech curve. Jeff is a graduate of the famed School of Astronauts, Purdue University's Aeronautical and Astronautical Engineering program. That's the same program that produced Neil Armstrong, first man to walk on the moon, and dozens of other astronauts. He's got degrees and certificates from the London Business School, as well as MIT, Stanford, and Yale. And some folks are even referring to Jeff as the chip king, thanks to his work as an executive during the 1990s and early 2000s. He helped guide Qualcomm into the advanced chip and semiconductor market. And share prices at the American tech giant more than doubled after his time there. Same thing happened at NXP Semiconductors. His work as an executive there helped the company's stock eventually jump as much as 761% after his tenure. As an angel investor, Jeff has put his money into over 300 private investments, and that includes startups in artificial intelligence and cloud computing, both of which need large quantities of advanced microchips, like Jump Cloud. Jeff's made 128x on his initial investment there. And Axiom Space, the world's first commercial space station. Jeff has seen a 3,189% return on that investment. And there are many more, 5,344% on Bestow, an incredible 25,800% on Bolt Financial, and 4,395% on Compound Labs. Now, in 2016, he said NVIDIA, which was then a little-known gaming company, would be the #1 tech stock of the year. He was right. The stock is up 4,950% since his recommendation, and it has since become one of the most valuable semiconductor companies in the world. In 2019, he got on the stage at the Schubert Theater, just off the old campus of Yale. He was the first person there to show how all 5G phones would need one tiny device to function. See, one company made the vast majority of those devices, Skyworks Solutions, and it has gone up as much as 163% since Jeff first recommended it. And in 2017, Jeff recommended another stock, Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD. It was the #1 tech stock for 2 years running on the S&P 500, gaining as much as 1,387% in the process. Now, guess what all 3 of these companies, NVIDIA, Skyworks Solutions, and AMD, have in common? Well, they've all risen from relative obscurity to become major players in the microchip and semiconductor sector. Now, the company that Jeff reveals tonight could be the #1 microchip stock of 2022. And he does believe it is absolutely the most important microchip stock of the decade. Revenue growth, by the way, is through the roof. Get this, earnings are pouring in so quickly, this company had to issue a correction on its publicly projected revenues, doubling the expected number. Most companies correct downward. This company had a legal obligation to tell us an even better story. Conservative estimates put earnings growth at 11% per year through at least 2030. And Jeff Brown again says this company could help put an end to the global chip shortage. And by 2025, they could control 100% of the advanced microchip market. Now, Jeff probably knows more about microchips than any other investor in the world, and he says this company is the most important microchip stock of the decade. In a moment, he's going to give you the name and ticker symbol, totally free, no gimmicks. And he is also going to share more information on 5 other microchip stocks that he believes will thrive over the next year and beyond. So, without any further delay, enough of me, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Chip King, Jeff Brown. Jeff, hello, and thank you so much for taking time to be with us in the audience today.
Well, of course, Chris. You know, I'm always happy to help shine a light on tech investing. And when it comes to technology, the mainstream media tends to be years behind. They completely lack context, and they tend to take a pessimistic view. So if we pay attention to them, then we're going to miss out on potential stock market riches.
Right. Yeah. Can you give us a specific example of what you mean when you talk about the mainstream media?
Sure. Well, how about the global chip shortage, Chris? According to the media, we're on the verge of doomsday. A few Ford plants closed down, the iPhone was a bit delayed, and the next thing that you know, the world is coming to an end because we don't have enough microchips and semiconductors. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, this is a serious issue that we do need to address. But the truth is, big technology companies spotted the problem coming years ago, long before the folks on CNBC or Fox Business. The true insiders have known for a while that we've needed more chip-making capacity. And they started ramping up for this very situation years ago. It just takes time and a lot of money and investment for the new capacity to come online.
It's very interesting. So you're saying that you think the chip shortage is going to end soon?
Yes. In fact, most of the semiconductor shortages will be addressed this year as production capacity catches up with the demand. Now, I expect it'll be fully resolved sometime in 2023.
Right, and this company that we're talking about today, this has something to do with it.
Well, definitely, Chris. The company I'm going to reveal tonight is playing a major role in ending the chip supply shortage. Now, I'll tell you more about that in just a moment, but there's a bigger story going on here, Chris. The whole microchip universe is shifting. And you definitely want to be at the front of the next wave of advanced semiconductors.
Now, what do you mean by that specifically?
All right, well, for simplicity's sake, let's just say that there's 2 broad categories of chips. The first are semiconductors that are manufactured by mature processes. Let's call those simple chips. And the second category are bleeding edge semiconductors. So let's call those advanced chips. Now, while we've seen some shortage in these advanced chips, the current chip shortage is far more severe when it comes to those simple chips. These are the kind that help run basic devices like our refrigerators or many of the simpler functions in our cars. So for instance, every modern automobile requires at least 3,000 semiconductors to function. Wow. The vast majority of them are actually in these simpler chips. Even some of the basic programming on our smartphones uses simple chips to keep costs down. These simple chips are still critically important right now, but we're on the leading edge of a massive shift in chip-making technology. Our technology has advanced so quickly, we can get far more complex in how we design microchips. And this leads to chips with more computing power and more energy efficiency capable of powering all kinds of new technologies like Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, metaverse technology, blockchain technology, self-driving cars and trucks, the massive cloud computing systems of Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. These technologies are already present right now, but by 2025, they're going to be dominant industries. In fact, all of the above industries combined are expected to bring in $12 trillion in revenue by 2025. Those technologies will have no use for simple chips. They'll need massive quantities of advanced chips, and only one company is capable of making them. By 2025, I believe it could control 100% of the advanced chip market.
Or to put it another way, you're saying that every advanced chip in the world would be made by one company.
That's right, Chris. This company will be the one semiconductor company that we literally cannot live without. Every chip involved in $12 trillion worth of technology industries made by one single company. And it's all because of a unique chip-making machine only they've patented and perfected.
A machine?
Yes, Chris, a machine to make advanced microchips. It's called EUV. And it's likely the most complicated machine humans have ever made. And it's the only machine capable of making these leading-edge advanced chips.
All right, so let's dig into this. Explain to us exactly what an EUV machine is. What's it like?
Well, Chris, it is a giant machine, larger than an SUV. There are over 100,000 parts. And when it's ready to assemble, it takes 40 shipping containers and 4 747 cargo jets just to get it on site. Now, let me back up a second, though, because I know not everyone has been up close to stuff like this, like I have been. So let me briefly explain how a chip is made.
Please, yes.
Well, the chip making process is threefold. So I'm going to simplify. A designer, usually a massive tech company like Apple, let's say, designs a chip for a very unique purpose. For example, running the navigation system of a car or the nose of a missile or something, or one of those 7 advanced microchips inside of your new iPhone 13. But the designer has no way to manufacture the chips. Instead, they send the plans to a foundry who will manufacture the chip for them. These foundries crank out over 2.5 billion chips a day, but they only operate the machines. These foundries must rely on advanced technology that comes from another company to make the chips themselves. They build their factories around what's called a lithography machine. You see, a microchip is made of thousands of tiny, invisible to the naked eye, circuits and transistors. The more of these that you can fit on a silicon wafer, the more powerful and energy efficient the chip. And a lithography machine etches these tiny circuits onto a silicon wafer. And the rest of the wafer is melted off to form the microchip. Now, foundries are filled with thousands of lithography machines. The company I'm going to name in just a few moments is one of the largest producers of lithography machines for simple chips. It owns 60% of the market right now, and it's their machines the foundries are using to crank out more chips to meet the supply demand.
Right, so this company's machines are playing, obviously, a large role in solving the chip shortage right now.
That's correct, Chris.
Okay.
But making more of these simple chips is just a temporary supply solution. You see, our technological needs are changing right now. And while we need trillions of simple chips today, over the next few years, as advanced technologies like the Internet of Things, cloud computing, self-driving cars, and augmented reality mature, we're going to need a whole lot more of the most advanced cutting-edge chips.
Which are precisely the kind of chips that the EUV machine makes,
Exactly,
right? Okay.
Exactly. EUV is the most advanced version of these lithography machines. These machines are a complex series of lasers and mirrors. The stronger the laser's light, the more precise the circuits are. And for the last decade, the quality of chips has lagged behind our technological ability because the best light frequency available wasn't powerful enough. But in 2017, they perfected the most powerful light source yet, the EUV machine.
It's fascinating. So what exactly does EUV stand for?
All right, extreme ultraviolet light.
Okay.
Now, this machine uses the most advanced lasers ever. The process is extremely precise. A generator ejects 50,000 tiny droplets of molten tin every second, Chris. One of these lasers blasts each droplet twice. The tin is vaporized into plasma, which emits EUV radiation and is focused into a beam and bounced through a series of mirrors. It's incredible. The EUV beam then hits a silicon wafer with precision equivalent to shooting an arrow from Earth straight through an apple on the moon.
Oh, man.
The EUV machine is then able to etch transistors into the wafer. This wafer, which now has trillions of transistors, is made into computer chips. Chris, I know, it sounds straight out of a science fiction movie.
It is amazing.
And I know it sounds complex, but it is indeed real. As Dario Gil, a senior VP at IBM, said, it's definitely the most complicated machine humans have ever built. And Jesus de Almo, A professor at MIT who works on novel transistor architecture said it's an absolutely revolutionary product, a breakthrough that is going to give a new lease of life to the industry for years.
Wow. I don't even know exactly what to say, but it's amazing to me that technologies like this even exist. I've never heard about it.
It really is incredible. But what's even more incredible is that only one company is capable of making these EUV machines. And the company I'm going to name on air for free in just a moment, it's literally cornered the market in these advanced chips. And it's those advanced chips that's going to power the vast majority of our technology by 2025.
Right. Now, so I assume that all of the foundries that you've mentioned here, they got to be stocking up on these EUV machines, right?
Well, they are, Chris. Samsung, for example, is investing $116 billion in chips by 2030. This includes a $17 billion state-of-the-art plant near Austin, Texas. And that represents the largest investment Samsung has ever made in the United States.
No kidding.
And chip pioneer Intel recently announced that it will spend $20 billion to build 2 new semiconductor manufacturing plants near Phoenix. It is the largest private sector investment in Arizona history. Now, overall, these and other semiconductor companies invested over $152 billion in new production capacity and research in 2021 alone. And experts expect them to invest nearly $1 trillion in new capacity over the next 5 years. Now, every one of these new facilities will be filled to the brim with EUV machines. These machines cost an incredible $180 million each. And in 2020, this company produced 35 EUV machines. By 2025, they plan to double that. And demand is expected to spike for the next decade, according to CNBC. A back-of-the-envelope calculation says that over $75 billion is already earmarked for this company's bank account. This is one of the most important technology companies in the world, said European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. It is absolutely critical to the entire semiconductor ecosystem, said Peter Hanbury, a partner at management consulting firm Bain. This company controls 60% of the overall chip lithography market, but they own 100% of the EUV market. And by 2025, they expect EUV to make up at least 66% of revenue. Now, I hope you can see just what a massive opportunity there is here, Chris. Just get into this company now, and you could own one of the most valuable tech names in the world for years to come.
Yeah, the wheels are starting to turn in my mind. I'm getting excited about this. Now, how is it possible that this company is not a household name at this point?
It really is unbelievable, Chris. But when you look at how the media covers technology in the stock market, well, I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
I guess not.
You know, these folks are always a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah.
And right now they're wringing their hands about the chip shortage when the long-term solution, EUV, is hiding in plain sight. And as I've mentioned, only one company makes these EUV machines. Now, if you understand how important microchips are to our tech and our daily lives, then you realize this stock should be in every portfolio in the world. These machines will soon be the central source to all of our technology.
Yeah. So, who is it?
Well, before I tell you the name, there's one more positive thing that I want to mention.
Okay.
EUV is banned from China. That's right. In 2019, President Donald Trump partnered with the European Union to ban the sale of EUV machines to any company in China or even doing business with China. Now, it could take at least 15 years for China-based semiconductor companies and others to replicate EUV's complex technology.
That's brilliant, which is obviously a massive advantage to the United States.
Yes, it is. And not just to our tech companies, but to our military power as well. The Chinese government simply will not be able to make the most advanced weapons without access to these EUV chips.
You're making it very easy for me to be excited and root for this company, Jeff, all of us. Is this an American company we're talking about?
No, surprisingly, it's not. They're actually a Dutch company, one of the few European tech giants.
And their name is?
All right, Chris, I'm going to reveal the ticker symbol here in just a second.
Okay, all right.
But first, I want to be clear. While I think this company is the most important microchip stock in the world, it's not the only one who's going to profit both this year and in the years ahead. Now, after I name my number one microchip stock of 2022, I'm also going to share the details on two other companies that could soar as advanced chips take over. So I encourage all of our viewers to stick around.
Wow, that's great. All right, Jeff, thank you for giving us some very good value here for all of our time. Obviously, I can't wait to hear about these other companies as well. But now, I think it's time we tell everybody out there what your favorite chip stock is.
All right, Chris, let's do it. So I want everyone watching to get out a pen and please write this ticker symbol down. ASML.
Which stands for?
That stands for Advanced Semiconductor Materials Lithography. So this is the Dutch company behind the EUV machine, the company that will control 100% of the advanced microchip market by 2025. Now, a lot of our viewers may be surprised by the share price. It's over $630 right now. Some folks have a hard time understanding that a high share price doesn't mean that a company can't grow exponentially or that it can be a great value. I remember when people were nervous about investing in Amazon. It was around the time I first recommended it in December of 2017. The so-called experts said there was no more profit to squeeze. Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah.
Shares have more than tripled since then. The same thing happened with Tesla. Elon Musk's company was deemed stupidly expensive by CNBC in December 2020. It has since nearly doubled. Now, by the way, Chris, I was ahead of the curve on that one as well. I recommended Tesla in December of 2018. It has gone up as much as 1,982% since then. Now, the truth is, the price of the shares really tells you nothing. It's all about the valuation.
Right.
So have you heard the expression, price is what you pay, but value is what you get?
Yes, I have.
Well, ASML may seem expensive, but it is an incredible value, and I think it's worth every single dollar invested. And with revenues expected to grow 66% this year alone, I believe ASML could easily triple its share price from here. Now remember, they will control 100% of the advanced chip market, and these advanced chips will be used to power technologies worth $12 trillion in the coming years, like the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, virtual reality, self-driving cars, and much more.
Yeah, well, clearly you are ahead of the technology curve as we build you at the start of our broadcast here. But I have, as great as this company sounds, I have to ask you this. I know to some viewers out there, that may sound like a lot of money to invest in a single share. What'd you say, $630, right?
About.
But we have spoken about this kind of thing before, and I think you told me that you can buy fractional shares in stocks, right? There's some sort of brokerage houses that will do that.
You're absolutely right, Chris. Right. So folks, you don't need to worry about buying a whole share of ASML stock if you don't want to. There are many brokerage houses out there that allow you to buy fractional shares of a stock. So for example, if you wanted to just invest $250 worth, you can buy a fractional share of a company through them.
Right, that's great news. Thank you for clearing that up. Jeff, this sounds like a slam dunk to me.
Well, me too, Chris. But ASML is not the only company that's going to profit from advanced chips. I've identified two other companies who could be big winners thanks to this shift in chip technology. Now, like ASML, they are both playing a prominent role in solving the current chip shortage. Plus, the first company is primed to take advantage of an industry that is set to soar through the next decade, electric vehicles. Now, the EV industry is set to quadruple by 2030 to nearly $1 trillion, Chris. The International Energy Agency said as many as 145 million electric cars, buses, vans, and heavy trucks are expected to be on the road by 2030. And this surge comes at a time when the global microchip shortage has curtailed production in many industries, especially true in the automotive industries. Building new cars in particular has been troublesome. This company saw this problem years ahead of time, adding capacity with a new factory in 2018. And as one of the top suppliers to the automotive industry, those 145 million EVs will need this company's specially designed microchips. So I think this stock could soar as EV sales continue to climb.
It would make perfect sense. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. How have similar EV stocks done recently?
Well, check a couple of these out, Chris. Lucid Group is an American EV manufacturer. Their stock rose 472% in just over a year. And Tech Resources, which is a mining and metals company that provides resources for EV cars, their stock has risen 490% recently.
Right, so very strong gains in a very short time, Jeff. One more thing regarding this company. Didn't you mention earlier that this company provides its advanced chips to more than just the automotive industry?
That's exactly right, Chris. In fact, it doesn't matter whether it's a smartphone, an automobile, industrial compressor, a solar energy converter, or even a 5G wireless base station. Each of those devices will need this company's chips, and that means they are heavily tapped into that $12 trillion in future technologies that I mentioned earlier.
12 trillion, truly impressive. So you're saying that the best way to invest in advanced microchips is to buy shares in ASML, this EV microchip maker, right? And then there is a third company as well.
Yes, the third company is at the heart of the cloud computing phenomenon. Over the last 3 years, companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google have spent, you're not going to believe this, $521 billion that's $500 billion, Chris, to invest in cloud computing infrastructure. By the end of this decade, that number is expected to double to $1 trillion. Now, 5G speeds have dramatically increased our need for data storage. This company has plants in 13 different countries, and its infrastructure blows away about everything else in this space. It will be at the heart of data processing and cloud computing for the foreseeable future, but its share price is currently drastically undervalued and underpriced, even as other companies have profited in the cloud space. Salesforce is a customer relationship management specialist, and their stock has more than doubled in the past few years. In fact, the cloud computing pioneer is up as much as 157% recently. And The Trade Desk, the largest independent digital ad management software company, its stock has jumped as much as 673%. And then there's DigitalOcean. They're a public cloud infrastructure and software provider. Their stock rose as much as 268% in just 6 months. I see similar growth ahead for our third company. A quick double is absolutely not out of the question, and long-term, shares could rise exponentially. Now, I put together a full report outlining everything that you need to know about these two companies, including the ticker symbols, more details on their operations and strategy, and the absolute highest price I think you should pay for the stock. It's called Advanced Microchips: How to Profit Off the Next Wave. And I'll give everyone watching this video a chance to claim a copy of this report in just a moment. But advanced chips aren't the only way to make a buck in the microchip and semiconductor market right now. Chris, I mentioned earlier the chip shortage, right? Well, I do believe the problem will be heavily addressed this year as supply starts catching up with the demand. And yes, ASML and the other advanced chip companies do have a role to play. But there are 3 other companies who will soon become the public heroes of the chip shortage. And yes, their share prices could take off.
Jeff, your enthusiasm is terrific, right? It truly is wonderful to hear. So if I'm understanding you correctly, these are the 3 companies who are going to end the chip shortage. Have I got that right?
That's right, Chris. These 3 companies are crucial to ending this current chip shortage. The first company is the largest pure-play semiconductor foundry in the world. In fact, it is churning out more than 13 million chips a year at just one of its locations. Now, the booming demand from 5G wireless networks, we talked about the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, machine learning, has this company in the perfect position to benefit. It's literally a who's who of the technology world already counts on them to produce their custom chips. I'm talking about tech giants like Apple and Qualcomm and Broadcom, NVIDIA, Sony. In fact, this company's top 10 customers have a combined market cap of over, get this, $6 trillion. And with surging demands coming from all directions, and this includes things like automobiles and trucks and smartphones, game consoles, laptops, this company will have nowhere to go but up. And that's why it's part of that investment boom made by semiconductor foundries over the next 5 years.
All right, so you said we're looking at something like $1 trillion in expenditures for that time period.
That's right, Chris. These foundries want to grab as much real estate as possible to take advantage of the heightened need for chips. And as I showed you earlier, Samsung is investing an incredible $116 billion by 2030. Intel recently announced that it will spend $20 billion to build 2 new semiconductor manufacturing plants near Phoenix.
Right.
And this company is trumping all of them. They are in the middle of a 3-year span where they are investing $100 billion to increase their chip producing capabilities.
Did you just say 100 billion, Jeff?
That's billion with a B, Chris.
I mean, I know you mentioned a similar number for Samsung, but that was, I think, by 2030. These guys are spending that kind of cash over the next couple of years now.
Exactly my point. Now, you aren't spending that kind of money unless you expect to solve the current chip crisis and then take advantage of that next wave of chip demand.
Agreed.
That could pale in comparison to what they could do in the wake of the end of the chip shortage. Other foundry stocks have shot up recently. Samsung, which is spending over $100 billion in infrastructure, it doubled, and United Microelectronics Corporation, aka UMC, it is up as much as 489% in less than 2 years. Foundries are the key to the end of the chip shortage, and this company could see its stock shoot up as well as a result.
Jeff, this is fantastic because I see clearly now where foundries fit into solving this chip shortage thanks to your explanation earlier. How about your other picks here?
Well, Chris, the second company in my second report is another giant in its field. Its server processors are simply the best on the market. It's a leader in graphics processing units, otherwise known as GPUs.
Right.
And the world needs a lot of processing power right now. So many of the hottest growth markets in high tech will continue to use GPUs as what I call computational workhorses. This is because they can perform thousands of operations at the same time. They've traditionally been used for video processing and graphics, but it turns out that GPUs are also perfect for another emerging technology, artificial intelligence. And this is huge because the AI market is expected to grow 40% a year through 2028, when it will be a $998 billion market, wow. Almost $1 trillion. Yeah. And this company's GPUs will be right there. Thanks to the pandemic, GPU chips have been in short supply. With millions more working and taking classes from home, right? The demand for more GPUs has skyrocketed. Yet this company largely avoided the chip shortage because it planned ahead years in advance. And that means it can help end the chip shortage because it's not so short themselves. So despite these shortages, other companies that produce GPUs have seen their stock shoot up recently. Synopsys has risen as much as 246%. Marvell Technology has done even better, rising as much as 430% at the same time. And our company is simply poised to do the same or better. This company earned $9.8 billion in revenue in 2020. And that number is expected to more than double by 2024. And that could be a gross underestimation. Revenues for 2021 were estimated at $13.5 billion, but instead came in at an impressive $16.4 billion. That represents an increase of about 67% in just 1 year, Chris. This company is primed to ascend even further as the chip shortage comes to an end.
Two very, very powerful and important companies, Jeff. We're talking about billions in investment here, billions in increased revenue, and that's just two of the companies in this second report, right? I think you said there's a third too.
Yes, Chris, and we want to take advantage of the end of the chip shortage from as many angles as possible.
Sure.
This third company's semiconductors are used in high-value 5G wireless base stations as well as consumer electronics, including smartphones. You'll also find them in cars as well as sensors used for the Internet of Things. And right now, The reality is that internet service providers are overloaded. Cellular networks and data centers are overloaded. They simply were not built to manage this level of data traffic in such a short period of time.
Right.
And that means the world needs to upgrade both its wireless networks and the data centers that support them. And that is where our third company comes into play. Since it operates its own in-house foundry, it does not have to wait to manage to increase its orders. And that's why they're going to be a big key in catching up to the supply shortages. Other companies in the sectors are soaring. Broadcom has risen as much as 302%. Qualcomm is up as much as 211%. And Analog Devices is up as much as 130%. Now, our third chip hero is in a strong position to soar even higher. I guarantee you, Chris, when the chip shortage ends, you will hear this company and the other two mentioned glowingly in the mainstream press. But here's the thing. If you wait to invest until then, you will be too late.
Right.
It's likely the stock could have already run up. Now is the time to get into these companies while the chip shortage is still going on. And that's why I created an urgent special report to get you all the details so you can invest in these three companies. It's called The Three Heroes of the Chip Shortage. I followed the chip shortage for years. I've analyzed countless potential chip stocks, and I've found a few that I think are your best bet. These are the companies who will profit by ending the chip shortage. You can get all the details on these companies in The Three Heroes of the Chip Shortage. And when I say details, I don't just mean a ticker symbol and a vague description.
Yeah. Jeff, this is absolutely great. I'm sure everybody out there listening is just as excited as I am. It sounds like we have another valuable and comprehensive report here. So folks, remember, Jeff uses his decades of experience to pick apart everything about these companies. He has poured through their balance sheet. He's met with the executive staff in many cases at these companies, and he's visited suppliers and done his own research on future earnings. So basically, Jeff Brown vets these companies in the same rigorous way that he would when making one of those more than 300 private investments that he's done himself. So if you see a company on his recommended list, you know they have passed his very thorough process, very involved. Executives and high-powered investors have offered him thousands of dollars for this kind of information before. He's going to send it to you as soon as we're done today, absolutely free. Jeff, this Microchip Stock investment package sounds amazing, and it's free. I just said that a minute ago. I have to keep telling myself, but I have to ask, is there a catch here? What is the catch?
No, there's no catch, Chris. Just what I believe is a tremendous opportunity. Now, I know all of you out there are interested in the tech market, and you're probably looking for the next big tech stocks, the ones that could make you look like a genius. Well, I think I can help you. Like Chris mentioned earlier, I was an executive at multiple high-tech companies, including Juniper Networks, Qualcomm, and NXP Semiconductors. And I've also spent years in Silicon Valley's inner circle. I'm often in Washington, D.C. as a member of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. And one thing that I've learned in my 30-plus years of experience is I'm not satisfied with waiting a decade to profit. I want to see a positive return as soon as possible. And I think that's something most tech investors miss. They're always trying to predict the future when the here and now can be very profitable. The truth is, you don't have to wait for the chance to profit on cutting-edge technology. If you get in right before the breakthroughs hit the market, you can make a fortune. Now, how do you do that? Well, quite frankly, it helps to know somebody like me who operates inside Silicon Valley's bubble, because I see and hear about breakthrough technologies the general public has simply never heard of. And I know exactly when these new disruptive products are poised to reach the mass market. Now, that's why I created an elite tech investing newsletter called the Near Future Report. And I'm going to let you try it at absolutely no risk at all.
Near Future Report. And you're absolutely right, Jeff, because after everything you've already said, this is indeed a fantastic opportunity. Folks, every month, Jeff actually publishes a unique issue of the Near Future Report with a new way for you to profit from the exploding tech market. And from his position as an angel investor and an advisor to Silicon Valley startups across many different sectors, Jeff learns about rapid advances in technology long before the rest of the world. As we said earlier, he's ahead of the curve on all of this. He can spot the signals of mass consumption well out on the horizon. And now he's not going to lecture you on technologies that are years away. He's going to show you how to make money on those tech stocks right now. In the near future report, he's going to take you behind the curtain, right? He pulls the curtain back, shows you the technologies on the verge of immediate adoption, like these advanced chips that we've been talking about. You're not going to hear about these technologies ahead of time on television or from a regular stock picker out there. And to be blunt, most of the technology advice out there is garbage. Jeff has already shared the near future report with a very small group of people, some who know a lot about tech, others who are complete laymen. The feedback has been phenomenal from all sides. Get a load of this. Stanley P. wrote in to say, your passion and knowledge of the technology sector is quite obvious from your reported research. I really enjoy reading and learning from you about this sector and any specific recommendations. Ruan B. said, I've been a loyal subscriber for some time now and greatly admire and appreciate the work you do to bring us readers such quality recommendations. Your newsletters are worth their weight in gold. And Patrick S. added this, I am making a lot of money from the near future report and have been watching my account balances grow very nicely. Looking forward to reading your reports in the near future. Well, today, Jeff wants to give you a chance to get in on this valuable information just as well. And at the end of this presentation, he's going to offer each of you a subscription to the Near Future Report. He's going to give you 60 days to try it out, in fact, at no risk. When you accept Jeff's offer today, he'll send you both chip stock reports free of charge. You can have those on your desk or in your inbox moments after we're through here. And these briefings, remember, are chock full of high-level tech information that you can use to profit on the stock market. The first report, Advanced Microchips, How to Profit Off the Next Wave, includes ASML. Its EUV machines, remember, are going to produce 100% of the advanced chips that will power $12 trillion worth of technologies by 2025. And remember, just a couple of years ago, Jeff told an exclusive conference that NVIDIA would be the number1 stock on the S&P 500 that year, and he was right. Anyone who followed his lead at that time could have made as much as 4,950% on their initial investment if they'd held on, turning $10,000 into $495,000. Think about that, because now Jeff believes ASML will be the next most important microchip stock of the decade. It is also his choice as the #1 microchip stock of 2022, and the other two companies in the report could be right on its heels. Now, Jeff, in your second report, the three heroes of the chip shortage,
right?
He's going to outline three companies who are already poised to solve the latest chip crunch, and you're going to learn who the biggest winners will be and how to invest in them. And in this second report, Jeff is going to explain how important your timing is to success as well. He's going to let you know exactly when he recommends you buy so that you can follow along for some really big profits. All of this valuable information is yours, free of charge, when you join the Near Future Report. Now, there is a cost for Jeff's letter, but I don't want you to worry about that because he is not going to charge you thousands of dollars like those big corporate clients. In fact, he's not even going to charge $100. No, Jeff wants you to get a leg up on the big guys, and there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't get access to the same high-quality research and investment analysis. So, Jeff, tell us, what do we got to do? How do we sign up for the Near Future Report?
Well, I'll tell you in just a moment, Chris, but first, you should know that advanced chips aren't the only market set to explode right away. Now, there is another area growing rapidly called NFTs. Now, NFT stands for non-fungible tokens.
Right.
And they are the hottest investment class in the world right now. Wired called NFTs a gold rush. Elon Musk, Sir Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, all of these billionaires are heavily invested in NFTs. The NFT market grew an incredible 26,138% over the past year alone. That's right. Reuters says NFT sales volume totaled $24.9 billion in 2021. Now that's compared to just $94.9 million the year before. And the three most expensive NFTs were all sold in 2021 for a combined $190 million. Now, some investors are making a fortune off of these tech collectibles, and I believe NFTs are an exciting trend, the future of ownership, in fact. And I also think that there are a lot of scams out there as well, which is why I put together a full briefing on NFTs called Your 101 Guide to Striking It Rich in the NFT Gold Rush. And in this report, I'm going to take viewers step by step through the world of NFTs, answer their most pressing questions, including what are they? How and where can you buy them? What NFTs should you avoid at all costs? And most importantly, how can you profit off of them? Now, as soon as this broadcast is over, I'll give everyone watching a free copy of this report. Plus, my other 2 free reports, The 3 Heroes of the Chip Shortage and Your 101 Guide to Striking It Rich in the NFT Gold Rush. Just for taking a risk-free trial subscription to the Near Future Report. Now, in just a moment, Chris will explain exactly how you can claim a copy of my free chip shortage and NFT special reports right away.
Yes, we will get to that in just a moment. First of all, Jeff, I have got to thank you sincerely for joining us on, and you did this on short notice, but this has been absolutely terrific information, and what an opportunity. So let me just sum up Jeff's offer really quick here. When you take a trial subscription to Jeff's investment newsletter, the Near Future Report, you're going to get 3 free reports, right? Special report number 1 is Advanced Microchips, How to Profit Off the Next Wave. This will include everything you need to know about what Jeff calls the most important microchip stock of the decade, as well as 2 other companies ready to soar thanks to advanced chips. You got special report number 2, the 3 heroes of the chip shortage. These 3 companies are playing a vital role in bringing the current chip shortage crisis to an end. And this represents a chance for you to get ahead of the crowd and make substantial gains from their current efforts. And then you're going to get special report number 3 as well. That is your 101 guide to striking it rich in the NFT gold rush. And in that one, Jeff is going to show you how to take advantage of a booming market that has grown more than 26,000% in the last year alone. If you are watching at home in just a moment, in fact, right now, it looks like you should see a link pop up under this video box. When you're ready to sign up for the Near Future Report and claim those 3 free reports, all you got to do is click on the link and fill in your information on the secure order form. And with your trial subscription, you're going to get a whole lot more than just these special reports that we've been talking about. You're going to get 12 monthly issues of the Near Future Report, full of executive quality research on the profitable world of tech investing. Remember, Jeff uses his years of personal experience in Silicon Valley to uncover the best stock market investments, ones that combine stability with the potential for explosive growth. It's the best of both worlds. But you're going to hear from Jeff more than just once a month. Keep that in mind, because he holds court at least once a week with updates on the tech market and stock-specific buy and sell advice. And mostly, you're going to very much appreciate Jeff's very calm and prudent voice in the world of tech. We all know how the tech market can be, right? It rides high one day, it comes crashing down the next, and you really need someone with a steady hand in both situations. That is Jeff Brown to a T, let me tell you. And then lastly, let me mention this. The moment that you sign up, you're going to get access to Jeff's full data archives. That means all of his past issues, his model portfolio, basically everything he's ever written. The Near Future Report comes with a very highly rated customer service team as well. So if you have any problems with your subscription or accessing your member benefits, you just give them a call or send them an email. And they'll help you get logged in or find that particular report you need or pass on a suggestion to Jeff as well. Just please remember, we cannot provide personal investment advice. We're going to send all of this to you today, just for giving the Near Future Report a risk-free try. And we're going to give you a very special price on a 1-year subscription to Jeff Brown's Near Future Report. Remember, just one of Jeff's recommendations could make you substantial gains. NVIDIA would have returned $495,000 on a $10,000 investment. And get this, the average return on positions closed in 2021 in the Near Future Report was 186%, the average. But with a track record like that, it's no surprise that Jeff has been offered thousands for his research. And he's going to give it to you for far cheaper than that. For just $49 a year, you can get 12 months of the Near Future Report. That comes out to just over $4 a month, less than 1 cup of coffee per month. And we're going to give you the 60 days to try it out and see if the Near Future Report is right for you. If you don't like it, cancel in the first 60 days, we'll give you a full refund for your subscription, no problem. But after what you've heard today, I can't imagine that anyone would not be satisfied. Tech stocks are the hottest in the world right now, and Jeff Brown is as tapped into these markets as anyone I've ever seen. Remember, just a small investment in the stock that he says will be the #1 microchip stock of 2022, and you can make thousands of dollars. If you're at all interested, why not give the Near Future Report a risk-free try? Just click that link below, and you can get started right now. I want to thank you for joining us today. Jeff, I don't know how to thank you enough for being with us. We got about 15 seconds left here. Anything you want to add before we sign off?
Oh, thanks, Chris. And I cannot stress this enough. This is the most important microchip stock of the decade. Many of the advanced technologies that we already depend on, and some that we will depend on in the near future, literally need this company. And if you get in now, you could set yourself up for fantastic gains. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have so much to look forward to.